Have you ever noticed that people do not always act based on logic, but based on hidden rules? They never admit. There are certain dark laws of human behavior that most people ignore or pretend do not exist. These laws quietly control decisions, relationships, and even the way people treat each other. Once you understand them, you start seeing human behavior in a completely different way. Watch till the end, because the final law changes the way you trust people forever. And if you like deep psychology and real human behavior insights, then like, share, and subscribe now. Because what you learn today might change how you deal with people for the rest of your life. These are not opinions, but patterns repeated across human behavior for generations. 10. People do not respect what is given too easily. When something comes without effort, the human mind automatically reduces its value. This is why free things are often taken for granted without real appreciation. Even in relationships, easy access can sometimes reduce emotional importance over time. Human psychology is wired to value scarcity and effort more than availability. This is one of the darkest but most common laws in everyday life. It works in money, love, and even respect without people realizing it. Value is not always about quality, it is often about effort invested. 9. People secretly mirror the power you project, not the words you speak. Human behavior automatically adjusts to the strength or weakness they sense in you. If you appear confident, others slowly begin to treat you with more respect. If you appear uncertain, people subconsciously start taking you less seriously. This happens without awareness, because the brain reads energy faster than language. Power is not always shouted, it is often silently observed. 8. People only stay loyal until it stops benefiting them, emotionally or socially. Loyalty is often conditional, even when people pretend it is permanent. When emotional or social benefit disappears, connections slowly start to fade. This does not always come from evil intentions, but from human nature. People naturally move towards situations that feel more rewarding to them. It is a hard truth, but a very real part of human behavior. Consistency is rare when emotional reward is missing. Human attachment often depends on continuous emotional value. 7. People remember your mistakes more than your good actions. The brain is designed to detect threats and negative patterns faster. One negative moment can overpower years of positive behavior in memory. This is why reputation can change quickly, but recovery takes time. People are more emotionally affected by errors than achievements. Even small mistakes can be mentally enlarged over time. This law explains why perfection is not humanly necessary, but still expected. Human memory is emotionally biased toward negative experiences. Negativity leaves a stronger mark than positivity ever can. That is how survival psychology shapes social judgment. 6. Silence makes people reveal what they were trying to hide. When conversation becomes quiet, psychological pressure naturally increases. People start filling the gap by talking more than they intended. In that process, hidden thoughts often come out accidentally. This is why silence is used in deep conversations and interrogations. The mind becomes uncomfortable with empty space and seeks relief. Relief often comes through honest or unplanned disclosure. Silence is not empty, it is a psychological tool. What people fear most is not silence, but what silence forces them to say. Quiet moments often expose loud truths. 5. People judge your worth based on how busy you appear. Availability is often interpreted as lower value in social psychology. When someone is always free, their importance feels reduced. When someone is selectively available, their value appears higher. This is a deep psychological bias connected to scarcity thinking. People respect time that feels limited and protected. Being constantly available can accidentally lower perceived status. This law quietly controls modern social behavior more than we realize. Even attention is treated as something valuable when it is rare. Scarcity creates respect without explanation. 4. People trust familiar patterns, even when they are not logical. The brain prefers predictability over truth in many situations. Even if something is incorrect, familiarity creates a sense of safety. This is why people repeat habits even when they know better. Familiar faces and situations feel safer than new unknown ones. This bias shapes decisions. In relationships, work, and social life, human mind is designed to avoid risk more than seek accuracy. Comfort often wins over logic in human choices. Even wrong familiarity feels better than correct uncertainty. Safety is often an illusion built on repetition. 3. People emotionally distance themselves before they physically leave. Leaving rarely happens suddenly. In human behavior, it begins with emotional withdrawal, long before action is taken. Interest slowly reduces before communication stops completely. This is why relationships often end quietly without clear explanation. The mind detaches first to reduce emotional conflict. By the time you notice it, the exit has already started. Emotional distance is the first stage of separation. Absence is not the beginning of leaving, it is the end of caring. People leave twice, first emotionally, then physically. 2. People often project their own insecurities onto others. What people criticize in others often exists within themselves. The mind protects ego by shifting internal issues outward. This creates misjudgment and unfair assumptions about others. Many arguments are actually internal conflicts expressed outwardly. Understanding this helps you avoid emotional traps in conversations. Not every judgment is about you, many are about them. Projection is one of the most hidden psychological laws. People sometimes attack what they are afraid to face in themselves. Criticism often reveals more about the speaker than the target. 1. People treat you based on the boundaries you fail to set. When boundaries are weak, others naturally push them further. Human behavior tests limits to understand how far it can go. Without clear boundaries, respect slowly starts to disappear. People do not always intend harm, but they follow available limits. Strong boundaries create clear psychological structure in relationships. Respect is often built on how well you protect your space. This is the most important law of human behavior. Boundaries are not about anger, they are about self-respect. What you allow repeatedly becomes your identity in others' eyes. If you reach this point, you now understand the hidden side of human psychology. On a deeper level, these laws are not positive or negative. They are simply how humans behave across different situations. Share this video with someone who needs to understand real human nature and relationships better. Comment which law shocked you the most and made you think differently about people. Subscribe for more deep psychology content that reveals hidden truths about human behavior every time.